The Caboose was a home away from home for the railroad crews of the 19th and 20th century. When you compare the Caboose to, let's say, a historical home, it has significance. It has significance to a culture. In years past, just as a train would have a steam engine on the front, every train would have a Caboose on the back. And these rail yards were filled with these. Many times throughout history, a brakeman, a conductor would spend probably more time living in the Caboose they were working in than even at home with their families. We are in the process of restoring Wabash Caboose number 2543. The goal is to save one of what we believe to be two existing wooden Wabash Cabooses and to have people enjoy it, have people ride it, have people make memories in it. The whole point of this restoration is to just try to reverse 100+ years of being exposed to the elements. It kind of sat in a state of disrepair. It was on display in Sweeney Park here in Fort Wayne, along with the 534. The roof had started to cave in a little bit, so all the water was coming to the cupola and draining down, right down the cupola, which meant all the wood around the cupola completely rotted, beams, frame, siding, everything, which then exposed everything on the interior to the elements, which caused even more rot. And our goal here is to just reverse that. First of all, get it stable, which we've pretty well accomplished. Second of all, get it safe for passengers. And third, do it justice as a historical piece of rail equipment. This is so much more than just taking off every piece of siding and replacing it. As you take siding off, then you discover more rotten wood. And as you pick away at that rotten wood, then more shows up. And I mean, by the time it's done, I'd say 80 to 90% of the wood will be replaced. It'll be stronger, it'll be safer, but it's so much more than just take old siding off, slap new siding on. The fact that we have volunteers and donors makes this project possible. Those people are what progress this project along. So as we're kind of walking around the Caboose, here's a really good example of some of the rot that we're trying to remedy. It all just kind of flakes away. It's going to be a dusty mess, we sweep and it gets dirty again. But as you are looking here, much of the frame is completely new red oak. We used a local sawmill to get everything milled. Every major beam had to be replaced in the car. The bottom beam, the header beam on both sides, because there were some spots where it was just so rotten, the only thing holding it together at some point was siding. Every new piece of wood adds strength. It was amazing when we were redoing, this was the first wall that we did, and when we did it, it was amazing that every screw, every nail, every new piece of wood just added so much strength to the car, which truly was a really kind of a small victory in terms of the restoration. So let's kind of head up here. It's not real glorious now, but if you're into stargazing, we customly built a skylight, so you can check out what you want in the sky. All of our rafters are in. The thing that's a little different from, like, let's say a regular freight car, wooden freight car, is these are curved and arched, okay? Which, to get the correct curvature is a challenge. And then to do it with material that is going to flex enough is also a challenge. But just so you can kind of see what will be here, along what would be the north wall, there'll be benches up to about here for people to sit, which would have been the crew's bunks back in the day. A table will go in the corner, which would have been the conductor brakeman table where they could do their paperwork. Then as we move to the north side, there'll be another bench to about here, the coal bunker and our coal stove. In that corner will be, there's a beautiful sink that will go in there, and the wash basin, all the water tank, all of the necessities for washing up and cleaning up will be in that corner. The cupola is actually in fairly good shape. Structurally, you know, I'm a big person and I was able to climb up there and it held me. So I think we're good there. But it's just amazing as it comes together, just the strength that everything added. If you notice, every 3 or so feet, there's what are called tensioning rods, okay, which is what I'm pointing to here. The way that this is structured, you can kind of see it really good up here. There are these L brackets, and this was, when I got the car to start, this is how this was constructed. These L brackets hold these diagonal frame boards. And then you run these tension rods from the top beam all the way down through the bottom. And what that does is as you add tension, it brings these diagonal pieces into these L brackets to create or to stop racking, and it adds strength to the car. I mean, the walls were really secure before those, but once those got in, it was truly like amazing how strong the walls became. And then you add the rafters and you have a structure that is not, you know, one wall's doing one thing, the other wall's doing another thing. You actually have some cohesiveness as a structure, which is really important. Original interior, we believe, was beadboard. The green paint from the original, and if you look over here, you can really see the brown paint and then the green interior paint. Sometime in the car's life, we believe a second layer of interior siding was put on more for insulation purposes, just to keep some warmth in the car. One really cool thing about this car is this coal stove. This coal stove is actually stamped that it was cast right here in Fort Wayne. So to have something that's historical to Fort Wayne, the Wabash runs a half a mile up from our shop. Pardon the mess, but as you can see, the cupola actually is in really pretty decent shape, at least on the interior. This is a rough kind of estimate of what the interior will be painted like. You can see the structure up here, which I love. This is what the main car body is going to look like. But if you'll notice, one thing that I thought was interesting, and I was really glad that we didn't have to do much work here, these rafters are a much different curvature than the rafters of the main car body. I'm really lucky that this is pretty well intact. I wish I could say that for the rest of the car. So this is a great example of what the rafters look like. They are laminated material with a notch cut in it. So when it's held up flat like this, that notch is flat and it will sit in the notch in the header beam. And then if you look to match the historical significance, there is a bevel the whole way down the rafter that it'll eventually get painted, but it'll all be to match the historical significance of what the original rafter was. We started a buy a board campaign, and for $5 a board, this is a piece of what's going to be exterior siding. We had a table set up with all sorts of different color Sharpies, and families could draw, write, dedicate a board. This is one of my favorite. It's just so colorful. So here's a great example of a board that was done by a family. Each name has the birth year next to it, so you can see the lineage of a family kind of encapsulated in one piece, which is really, really neat to see. The writing that these families did on these boards will be on the inside of the car, almost as though it's a functioning time capsule. In terms of cost for this restoration, I would say that approximately $1,000 has been invested between new metal, new steel, new wood, the material to make the rafters. We have all of the material really that's needed to make some really significant progress on the car. Our big costs in the future are roofing material, paint, lettering, etc. Interior furnishings, things like that. And you know, one thing to keep in mind out here at the Society, this is all volunteer work. As we're working on this caboose, every one of the guys and gals who's worked on this car, they all come from different backgrounds. The Fort Wayne Railroad Historical Society has been so great in aiding me with moving this project forward. We all are here for one reason, and that one reason being the 765. However, the Society has really nurtured this project. We all have our different strengths, and to be able to put all those together really is a neat thing. Like myself, I'm a teacher, I teach music, so coming out, learning about the 765, getting involved, and then being able to say, hey, you know what, I'm going to take the leadership role on this. It's a great feeling. When the caboose is finished, obviously we have the operations. We have the Santa train, we have the open house, but it'll be a great teaching tool to share the history of railroading in maybe a different way than the steam engine can. The Wabash had a terminal right here in Fort Wayne. It was one of many, many railroads that came into Fort Wayne. And when this caboose is completed, we hope to create a turn-of-the-century Wabash consist with our steam engine 534. Once restored, these pieces will create that era for people of the 21st century.